Rock and Roll Mole by Carolyn Crimi. Mole had a rock and roll soul. He woke up each morning yelling, "Let's rock the house." He wore a leather jacket, even in summer, and shades, even at night. And he could strut just like his idol, Mick Badger. At school, 3 chicks followed him around. They screamed, "Ooh, Mole!" in their tweedy voices. "Your jacket is so cool," his best friend Pig often told him. "I love your shades," Raccoon always said. Oh yeah, Mole had the style all right. When he was alone, he could strut, snarl, and play guitar like a legend. But the thought of performing in front of others made him shake in his shades. Pig was the only one who had ever heard him play. "You're awesome," Pig said. "You should play in front of the whole school." Mole didn't say anything. It was one thing to play in front of Pig, but the whole school, no way. Pig already had an idea, though. He wanted to put on a talent show. Raccoon could torch the crowd with his extreme skateboard stunts. The chicks would rip it up with their sweet songbird voices. Pig knew some smooth dance moves. He positively sizzled. And Mole, well, everybody knew what he should do. "You'll rule the stage with your guitar," said Pig. Yeah," said Mole. "It'll be platinum." "Ooh, Mole, you're really gonna play for us?" All 3 chicks fainted on the spot. But that night, Mole worried. He stared at his posters of Mood 2 and Goose Springsteen. What if I'm no good, he wondered. But they were, just posters, so they couldn't answer him. The next morning, Mole got up early to practice. He tried strumming his guitar, but his paws shook. He tried strutting across the room, but his legs wobbled. He tried screaming out a song, but his voice cracked. At school, the chicks cried, "Ooh, Mole!" But he barely heard them. They swooned, and he stepped right over them. Before he went to sleep that night, Mole stashed his leather jacket and his shades under his bed. He even took down his posters. "I'm not going to do Pig's stupid show," he mumbled. "I quit." The next day, Mole broke the news to Pig. Pig's tail uncurled. "You have to do it. We've already told everyone." Mole shrugged. "Sorry, I just can't." "Can you at least help me get everything ready?" Pig asked. "Okay," said Mole, "but I'm not playing. No way." Mole and Pig worked on the show every day after school. They sold tickets to all the animals in town. "I just hope everything goes okay," Pig said. "Just hang loose," Mole said. "It'll be platinum, dude." But the night of the show, Pig was sweating more than usual. "My iPod is broken. I don't have any music. How am I supposed to dance?" Mole looked at his best friend's worried face. He knew what he should do. "I'll be right back," he said. Mole ran to his house and got his guitar. He put on his shades and his leather jacket. Just hang loose, he told himself. But when he pictured the audience, he started to shake. Then he thought of Pig and gave himself a rattle. Finally, he was ready to roll. Pig's face brightened when he saw Mole. "I knew you'd come through." From backstage, Mole and Pig watched until it was their turn. "Let's give it up for Mole and Pig," cried Raccoon. Mole jumped onto the stage. He tried to swagger. He stumbled. Then he fell. The whole audience stared. Mole stared back. "I'm doomed," he thought. "Hang loose," whispered Pig. Mole gulped. He took a deep breath. Then he sprang back up and struck a pose. "Let's rock the house." Mole cranked. He burned. He scorched the stage with his fierce, funky sounds. "Ooh, Mole!" screamed the chicks. He played and sang like the supersonic, groovalicious rock star that he was. He strutted and snarled, ripped and roared, while Pig shimmied and shook his bad pink self. Everyone clapped and stomped and screamed when Mole and Pig took their bows. "We really showed them who's boss," said Pig. Mole smiled. "Pig, we were pure platinum." Okay, now boys and girls, you know that I love to share books with you. It doesn't matter if I've had it in my library for years or I've just gotten it. Well, I noticed that you've all been a little bit nervous to share books that you like recently. So what did you all think of this book that I just read?
We loved it!
I'm so glad. Well, if you're a little bit nervous, I want you to be a lot more comfortable, so we're going to take some steps so that I can teach you how to do that, okay? What did you notice when I was reading Rock and Roll Mole?
You were super loud.
That's right, Morgan. I used my teacher voice, and my teacher voice is loud and clear. So does anyone know why I did that?
So we could all hear what you were reading.
That's exactly right. Now, can you practice with your neighbor using her teacher voice, please? Thank you. Good job. I loved hearing you all read with your teacher voices. Now, what else can we think of that'll help us when we're sharing a book with the class?
Well, we have to pick a book, silly, then read it.
Exactly. So we're going to pick a book that we like, but in order to share it, we have to actually know what we're reading. So that means that we have to have read it before. So how will we know if a book is worth reading otherwise? We won't. So if you're not the person sharing the book, what does that make us?
Listeners!
Exactly. Now, if we're listening, does that mean our mouth is moving? No. What does that mean we're doing?
Not talking.
Very good. Well, we want to give the person who's sharing our full and undivided attention. We have to keep our mouths closed and lock it and then throw the key away. Now, should we be just sitting there staring at them?
No.
Okay, now, that's exactly right. We want to make sure that when someone else is sharing, that we're thinking about what they're saying and what they're sharing. So, what should we do if we're unsure about something that they've read?
Ask them.
Exactly. Well, we're going to think about questions and comments, making connections, making predictions, so that when the speaker is finished, we'll have some things to talk to about them. Okay, so give me a thumbs up if this makes sense. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that we all understood the job of someone who's listening and someone who's sharing a book, okay? Now I want you to go back to your seats and then wait for further instructions.